Oh, sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here, and we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, go to shrmedia.com and click on the SHR TV button. Well, SHR TV or YouTube button, something like that. And if you want to watch a live show, well, you can go to YouTube or you can go to Facebook and just search. Oh, total break. Just search for SHR Media. I'm checking out. We have a special guest tonight, and I'm waiting for her to call in. Says she called not long ago. Huh. It's weird. That's weird. That's weird electronics. Oh, the fun of today's electronics. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Should be calling in. I'm talking to her right now. Should be calling any minute. The fun of technology. We can't rebuild it. While we wait for her to call in. A Puerto Rico delegate had an interview with the USA Today. Puerto Rico's delegate in the House of Representatives, Jennifer Gonzalez Colon, discussed the aftermath of the Hurricane Maria on the island and the way President Trump has handled the response. I will tell you that everything that the president said that he was going to send to the island, it's getting there. The resources are there. The help is there. Here we go. Hold on. All right, everybody. I want everybody to welcome, what was it? Snarky of Oz, Rachel, to the show.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, you fabulous audience. I am great.
Just
getting
fabulous.
Myself a drink. Magnificent as fuck. Oh, can I say that?
No, you can't say any fuck words. No fuck words allowed.
Oh, fuck me. Shit, damn it. God, cocksucker.
Oh, damn it, you stole my line. I was going to do that. How's it going today?
It's going to get a lot better here in a minute.
Hopefully you're pouring yourself a drink there.
I am.
Okay.
Jim Beam and Dr. Pepper. We're good.
I thought maybe he caught you at the wrong time there. I was going to be, whoa, wait a minute. You can call back in a couple minutes.
I'd let you know. No, I'll let you know. You're going to have some potty talk right now.
All right.
I got 2 kids and 1 bathroom. Are you kidding me? I don't have any private time.
Oh. How old are they?
8 and 11.
8 and 11. I got 13. I'm a huge hockey fan. That's the main sport that I pay attention to. So as the show goes on, I have the Flyers game up on my tablet, so you might hear me screaming and yelling about it. Other than that...
Oh, you'll probably hear my dogs go off and my husband get home, my daughter get home from her track meet, so that's going to happen too.
That's fine. I got 2 dogs, too. I keep them out of the room while I'm doing the show. I got a German Shepherd and a Yorkie Poo. How's that for a combination?
Oh, sounds easier than what I got. I have an Akita and a mixed kaiju Godzilla-looking Jack Russell dog. No, seriously, she's taller than me when she stands up, but she looks like a Jack Russell. I don't know. And then I have a Staffordshire Lacey breed.
Very good.
They're all big.
So tell us a little about yourself. I've never had you on the show before, so I want to give you a minute. The floor is yours. I know I put you on the spot, didn't I?
My name is Rachel. I am snarky. I am never offended. Unless you're offended, in which case I'm offended that you're offended. I cuss a lot when my kids are not in the same room with me. I am a non-filtered firecracker. That's who I am.
All right.
I'm family first, husband second.
Oh, man, that's how my life is, too. Actually, I'm more down the line, 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere around there.
No, I spoil him when I can. He gets his feet rubbed every night and all that stuff.
Oh, man.
Not every night.
I think I want to trade. My wife's like, I ain't going near your feet. I don't know where they've been. Thanks. That's her excuse for everything.
Yeah,
I don't know where it's been.
I don't mind the feet. It's the middle region I want to stay away from. When he walks by and goes, "Hey babe, smell popcorn," I go, "Nope." I'm not doing that.
Oh, man. Oh, alright. So
what else do you want to know?
2 plus 2.
5.
Okay. We're ready to
Minus
go.
1.
Divide by 2.
Times it by 3.1444444444.
3. You forgot the 3 at the end there. Oh. Can you imagine like one of those math idiots in there? Shit. That would be, I don't know. I'm not a math whiz.
That would be me with freaking the Common Core map that they came out with. I'm like, what the hell is this shit?
Yo, what really pissed me? My daughter came home, and we're trying to help her. And she turns around and she goes, "The teacher told me not to talk to you about the math. I'm not supposed to get help from you." I'm like, "Excuse me? Your teacher said what?" Next day, it's, "Yeah, principal, we had to have a little conversation." She's like, "Well, she didn't mean it that way." I was like, "You don't tell my daughter not to talk to me. I don't care what it's about." Oh, that pissed me off. They've pretty much in Florida, they've done away.
You're a sensitive one, aren't you, Joe?
No, but you don't tell my daughter not to come talk to me about anything because my daughter's.
Yeah, but you kind of took it the wrong way.
I know.
That's not what she meant. She meant you suck at math. Don't ask your dad for help.
But that's not what she said. Oh.
Oh, God, you're one of those.
Stop. Oh. That one totally weird. I blame you. What the hell's going on with my tablet? So let's actually get on to some political discussion here. We're going to get on a big bomb that was dropped today later on.
Huh? What? I'm here.
All right. You're going to be like that, I see. But we're going to a big bomb was dropped early today, and it has to deal with Hillary, Russia, uranium, and a lot of Obama officials and what they did and did not do. So we're going to get to that later. Right now, I started an article right before you called in, late, and Puerto Rico delegate Jennifer Gonzalez Colon, I think it is. Oh, I butcher people's names all the time, so please excuse me about that. But she discussed the aftermath of the Hurricane Maria on the island, the way President Trump has handled the response. Basically, she came out and said President Trump handled this great. He had made the comment, he had told his staff that he wants the staff to treat Puerto Rico as a state and give that type of response. Now, if everybody remembers, we had that one mayor just totally losing her shit trying to play the political game and blaming Trump that nothing was happening, no supplies were getting there, as she stood in front of all those supplies. How dumb can you be doing that? Okay, he's not getting any supplies. What's that behind you? Nothing. I mean,
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Exactly. It's... I don't know. You want to play politics with people's lives like that, that's despicable to me. But
Did you expect anything less, though?
no, but I was surprised how many actually backed Trump up. The Democrats backed Trump up on the island. That shocked me how many actually came forward. Now, I've run into, because I'm here in Florida, there's a lot of Hispanics in my area. I'm in Tampa, Florida area. And I've run into a couple people where they were from Puerto Rico, they have relatives. And both of them I talked to have said they know the response that he's giving to Puerto Rico, and they love it. They said the response is perfect. Everything's being done. They knew it was going to take up to 6 months for everything to get restored. It's not uncommon for that to happen in Puerto Rico. And maybe I'm being a little innocent here, but I thought maybe, they wouldn't put people's lives at jeopardy just so that they could maybe score a political point or two.
How is that scoring them any points, though?
Well, in their head, they think they're going to do it by putting people in jeopardy and blaming it on Trump. Everybody's going to go, okay. I think they're believing their own bullshit at this point.
You know what? To me, it's... I can't... Honestly, my brain must be far more advanced than the rest of them, because I can't comprehend why they're still doing this.
I can't. I mean, in some ways I understand. I think they're believing their own bullshit. They think they're believing their own fake polls that this is the way America's thinking. And, hey, Jenna, welcome to the show today. And I think that they are just buying into their own lies. And they don't get that people are smarter than that.
It's like you keep telling yourself the same thing over and over again, and eventually you'll start believing it.
Well, it's part of the rules for radical. One of the things is you tell a lie often enough, it will become the truth. And that's what they normally do. And people have been buying into the lies for the last several decades, but especially during the Obama years, his rhetoric really woke people up. And people started investigating everything going on. And now people check into it, and they're not believing all the bullshit that they're being told. I mean,
they're investigating into it, but they're not doing anything about it.
Well, I'm talking like everyday people. I mean, we're doing something about it. We're changing the political scheme. I mean, it used to be that these establishments won with ease, and now they're an endangered species going on right now. I mean, there's still a lot in there. Yes, I understand that, but they're being targeted now. Unlike even 4 years ago, they weren't targeted.
Wow. Like I said, I can't comprehend what their reasoning is behind this. It's not adding up. They're not accomplishing anything.
In their minds, they are. It's sort of like California. Look at California the way that is. You're in Utah, right?
California sucks ass.
Oh, I know. The SHR Media, the two owners, are in California, unfortunately. As they put it, they're behind enemy lines. So, and BZ, who will be on tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time? And they talk about it all the time, all the shit that's going on behind the California wall, all the bullshit. To give a perfect example, right now you got all those wildfires are out there right now, and it's endangering a lot of people's lives. I think it's in the Sacramento area, and BZ was telling me how the rules are set up that you can't remove trees and all this stuff. These tree huggers are, and they have laws set up. They got like 2 foot of dead branches on top of each other in the forest, in people's yards, and they can't remove it because of these rules.
Okay. All right. Now let's take a step back with that.
Okay.
Let's just analyze that for a second, because you know I live in Oregon, right?
Right.
I used to live in California. I was there for over 20 years.
All right.
When I moved up here, I could not understand how green and why it was so green. They constantly chop down logs out here, but they plant 3 trees for every one they chop down.
Yeah.
Now, it has not affected them whatsoever.
Kept a pretty good resource going.
It is, but we have all those fires still. So what's cutting down those trees there? Why not just do it and see how it works? Obviously, what they have now is not fucking working.
But they don't see that. It's because of global warming. It's because of the forest fire. It has nothing to do with their policies. That is adding dead brush on top of dead brush on top of dead brush. They don't see that. That's not an issue, and I don't even understand how that is helping the environment by leaving dead brush laying all around. Cleaning it up actually allows for new growth to happen. You know, even it's somewhat
Right.
limited mentality as myself. I understand you need open space to grow stuff.
Yes, that is true. That is very, very true.
So I don't understand it either, but they're believing their own bullshit and their own polls that say, people want massive gun control. Because I get my father-in-law, well, 97% of the people want common sense gun control. Can you show me that poll, please? No.
90% of what people?
There's supposedly
Where did they get this consensus from? Where?
I would like to know too, because they also did. Obama did that with the global warming. I don't know if you remember a couple years ago. 97% of the scientists believe global warming is man-made. Well, when you actually look into that statement and find out where he got that 97% from, and I've said it multiple times in the show, is the global scientists.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
No.
It's not man-made.
Well, of course it's not man-made, but the 97% of the scientists, what it is the global scientists that have written a global warming paper saying it's man-made were asked to look at their paper again and see if they still agreed with their findings. So basically what it is equivalated to is like giving a high schooler their final exam and asking them to grade it. And 97% of the scientists went, yep, I still agree with what I wrote. You know, of course they're going to agree. That's why they wrote it.
Right. But that's, I mean, how is it they get to this?
They make up
I
numbers.
don't understand.
It's feel good, make up numbers. Everybody agrees with us, so we can go forth. We don't need to have discussion, because I just told you this amount of people already agree with us, so we don't need to discuss it. We can go forward from here. That's what their thing is. They don't care what you think. They don't care what I think. They don't care what the majority of the Americans think. They want to get gun control. They want global warming and all those regulations that will come with global warming that'll make them more money.
Gun control is a myth. You cannot control a firearm.
No.
But you can control what the firearm needs. This I've been waiting to say since yesterday, since you brought this up yesterday. You cannot control who has a weapon. You can control whether or not they have anything to fire out of that weapon.
Well,
The mass production of ammo and gunpowder.
well, actually, the
Cut
Supreme
that
Court
off,
has already
Then
ruled.
they're just heavy paperweights.
The Supreme Court's already ruled that they can't regulate the ammo any stricter than they already do, because it is part of the gun and part of the freedoms that we have. No matter what, you can take all the ammo away, you can take the guns away, and we're still going to have all these murders happen. They're just going to find different ways. They're going to find vehicles to run people over with in mass crowds. They're going to set off pressure cookers. I mean, you can go into your bathroom or kitchen and make about 5 to 6 different bombs with the chemicals in your house. When someone has that...
You take away one weapon, they're going to use another, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So let's just give everybody a gun.
I have no problem with that.
Up here, where everybody has a firearm, and I can tell you what, there's no home invasions up here. You know why? Because you'll get your ass shot just for stepping on somebody's property.
See,
and then you'll get shot back at, because somebody else who stepped on your property's got a gun too.
I come from New Jersey, and that is a state where you got to come up with like 1,001 reasons why you need a gun, to carry a gun. So my father was not ever able to, and he really didn't try because you can't get one. But the gentleman that walked into his work the one day illegally carrying a gun that shot my dad and killed his boss, well, he hoped that they were following the law and weren't carrying, because that's what the criminals do. They want you unarmed. I mean, your gun-free zones are just smorgasbords for these idiots that want to go on mass shooting sprees.
How can he not get a gun, and yet the guy that shot up Las Vegas was able to buy how many in 1 year? Over 20?
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to jump on that, because I've been hearing the collection was over a 10-year period, over a 6-month period, over a 1-year period. There's been so much different information coming out. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter how long the period was. The fact that he was able to get that many. A buddy of mine had, I think he was up to 49 guns. He collected them. He collected all different types.
But how long did it take him to get 49?
Years. But I've also heard it took this gentleman up to 10 years to get that collection up there. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know exactly what the time frame is, because I've heard so many different numbers thrown out there. I'm not saying your number's wrong. I mean, there could have been updated information.
His time frame is a lot shorter than what your friend's is. I guarantee it.
It's...
Why didn't it raise a red flag either? Anyways, anywho, I'm off subject.
But part of it is, why would it raise a flag just because of the amount of guns? I mean, the guy didn't even have a speeding ticket in his life. There was nothing to say, hey, he's going to go on this type of shooting. Hey, we got to take a break real quick. We're actually kind of late for it, and then we'll come back and we'll continue the conversation. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with Snarky of Oz and Jersey Joe, right here on SHR Media. Ah, crap. I didn't put the commercial up. I'm an idiot.
You suck up.
Yeah, I do.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right, we'll be right back. Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe. right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying calf from a stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sako as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here with a special co-host tonight, Snarky of Oz, the great Rachel. How you doing? Still there?
I am magnificent as fuck, usually. Today, I'm just magical.
Tell me how you really are.
I'm a bitch.
Well, see, this is why me and my wife get along great, because we said it a long time ago. She admits she's a bitch, I'm an asshole. hey, as soon as people realize men are assholes, women are bitches, everybody will get along just fine.
I'll drink to that.
I forgot to pick up a bottle of rum today. I really did. I was going to pick one up and got sidetracked at my parents' house.
You're still fine.
So, all I have is Gatorade to drink. I already drank my coffee. And I was too lazy to go get
Bat your eyes at your wife and go, please.
Oh, I did that before the show and got the... What, are your legs broken? And my response was...
Use your Chevrolet legs, darling.
I was like, no, that's why I got married, so I didn't have to make coffee. And then I got the evil eyes and punched in the stomach. She got up on her ladder and punched me in the stomach.
I take it she's really short.
She's 4'10", I'm 6 foot.
Holy cow.
So, it's... Alright, the next...
She's fun size.
Oh, yeah. And my shins don't think so when she gets punching them. Okay, she's in the other room, she can't hear me. Or she'll hear me, I'll go out there and she'll be just like, asshole. Love you too, hon. Alright, so the next subject we're going to get onto is we're going to get off my wife and onto the federal judge. That Hawaii federal judge, I don't know if anybody...
Aww, taking all the fun out of my life.
Alright, back a couple months ago when Trump wrote the original temporary ban, there was a Hawaii federal district court judge that, oh, you're being mean to Muslims. And it was a Judge Derek Watson, so he was able... he put a block on the majority... No problem. Majority of President Trump's travel ban. So it went up to the Supreme Court, sort of, and the Supreme Court said, you know what, you can't halt it. We're going to allow it to go through for right now until the case is heard. Case never got heard because the temporary ban went through, and they came up with a more permanent solution. Well, now the Hawaii judge, again, has come along and said, even though they're not getting any of these Muslim migrants in their state, they're saying they will be harmed if the 8 countries have a restriction put on them to keep. They're increasing the background checks that will be done on anybody coming in, and it would be less amount of people just able to walk into the country and say, oh, we want to go to America. So now this judge comes along and says, nope, you can't do that. How the fuck does a judge out in Hawaii tell the whole country and dictate national security? That's what pissed me off. How does a judge... You got the same response that I have.
But is it bad that he even did that? I mean, that's a good thing, right?
What? For which one? That Trump put the restriction in, or that the judge is overriding the president on the travel restriction, even though every legal document says the president has the right to restrict who comes in this country?
It's a 50-50 for me.
Okay.
Hawaii, they have their own little islands and their own rules and regulations out there.
Well, they still have to follow federal rules.
But as far as going over the president, I mean, who hasn't lately? Who hasn't walked right over him and said, hey, what's up, Matt, and wiped their feet on the way in?
See,
he's letting it happen.
Well, he has, this judge is giving a order. It's not like, I mean, he could technically ignore it if he really wanted to. DOJ is going to appeal this. It's going to go up to Circuit Court, and from there, because it's going to go to the 9th Circuit Court, I believe, and that's a liberal-leaning judge court system. And from there, it will go to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court, I'm almost guarantee, will say he has the right to restrict who comes into this country. And these 8 countries are willing to work with us. And the 8 countries are Iran, Libya, Syria, Yemen, Somalia, Chad, and North Korea.
Wait, what?
Oh, and Venezuela. Those are the 8 countries that he is limiting or restricted who can come in from those countries. Not a single one of those is, you know what? Oh, there's only good people coming from those countries. The only scumbags are coming from these countries right now.
So what you're saying to everybody else out there is, move to these countries and yeah, we'll be safe.
I don't understand. And Obama has done this in the past, and all of a sudden now the liberals don't want any restrictions. They don't want.
Do you think that's going to stop them? They're going to move into these countries just so that they can come over.
So
they're going to move out of them. They're going to expand out. That's how they're getting in.
Well, they can do that, but there's also, when they start looking at travel, they can see that they came from these primary countries, and that's where they could say, because that's what a lot of them have done, is they bounce around, but we can say, okay, well, they're from this area. We know not good people because we're trying to work with their countries just so that we can do background checks on who these people are, and their governments are saying, no, we're not going to work with you on any of this. So our government's saying, well, if you're not going to work with us to try to...
No, you can't fucking come in the country.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Only 6 out of the 8 countries are primarily Muslim. They're not even the top Muslim countries. They're not even the top Muslim countries, but somehow they want to call this a Muslim ban, which it isn't. This is a ban. I mean, Venezuela's... Jesus, there's not many Muslims there. We just don't want the government officials coming here because they're trying to run with all the shit that's going on in Venezuela's. That's the stuff.
Muslims are already here. The terrorists are already here.
Yes, I will agree.
It doesn't matter.
It's mind-boggling the way they think. And then nowadays with what ISIS is doing, they're not even. They don't even have to come here. They pick and they find the weak links of our country, people that are having issues, and they fuck with their heads.
Our whole country is a weak link.
Well, I wouldn't say the whole country.
Fucking half the people are sitting during the goddamn national anthem, and they're burning our flag. We have never been more low and more weak than we are right now. That whole term, united we stand, divided
I know, but
fall.
I'm trying to, I'm debating in my mind about, hang on, damn computer, what the hell are you trying to do? My computer's trying to restart right now on me, and I don't know why it wants to restart. There we
Gnomes.
Go. Yes, damn
Gnomes.
Because if you remember, during the 60s, we had a similar mentality going on in the country, where we had the hippies doing some of the same stuff that's going on now. We had the radicals of the 60s burning flags, spitting on military personnel. I don't know if it was on the mass level that we're having now.
It was in protest of the war. It was in protest of wars. They're doing it now because they don't like the country they're in.
But it also started with protesting the Iraq War, the Afghan War. They're protesting against the police brutality, even though the numbers show there's no police brutality.
Police brutality. Don't do anything fucking wrong, and they won't fucking have a reason.
I think it was my mother I got in the conversation with. She's like, well, you know, what is explain it to me. And I'm like, I don't understand it myself, Mom. When you look at the numbers don't add up. She's like, what do you mean? And again, I get into it with my father-in-law, because my father-in-law will get this discussion. His response is, well, don't go to conservative sites. No, I'm going to the FBI site. Well, and walks off. The FBI shows that more whites are killed by cops than cops are killing blacks by a large number. And it's not even, well, then they turn around and they say, well, if you look at the whites are a larger population percentage compared to the blacks. Yes, I know that.
Do you know why they're ignoring the ratio right now?
Because it doesn't fit their agenda?
Of skin color? No, it's because we are the majority.
Well, yes, and that's what they say, so therefore whites should. But when you break it down to equal portions, the whites are getting killed more by cops, and Harvard did a study, and the study said, yes, cops are quicker to shoot a white person than a black person, because if they shoot a black person, no matter what the circumstances, they're going to be called a racist. So they're less likely to shoot a black person.
To college. Your baby just fucking strong-arm robbed somebody who was not going to college.
Oh, trust me, it's. I understand it. It drives me up a wall. And I got where I work EMS at is in the Trenton, New Jersey area. Okay, and there we worked hand in hand with the police. Now, I mean, we worked hand in hand, and a lot of my friends up there they're police officers, and they're livid because they don't know, they don't understand the mentality that's going out there, and they're getting shit on left, right, and center. And I mean, they're getting shit on.
Terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
And they're afraid. They are afraid to do anything because, well, if they act the way they're supposed to, but because it was a black person that they shot, everybody's going to scream racist. And I understand how that goes on. There was a shooting.
You know what? Let them scream it.
Well,
let them scream.
Not always that easy because I've been on the other side where we had a shooting. Me and my partner being white and the cop being white shot the suspect. Dead. Then, you know, all of a sudden there's a crowd. But the guy's dead. We know we're not bringing it back, but we had to work on it because why? You got a white cop, 2 white EMTs, and a black suspect. What are they going to say? And then you got a large crowd gathering around. Racist! That's why they didn't do it. And you know what? I didn't want the investigation that would start up with something like that. Because that would put my career on hold. And for a very long time. Listen, it's break time. We're going to go to break. Then we're going to come back. We're going to continue our conversation. We're going to start jumping onto Hillary Clinton's broom.
My favorite bitch.
You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media, along with Snarky Avaz, and right here on SHR and the Lone Star Radio, and we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and obstacles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcast. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Let's see, where are we? Where are we? You still there?
I'm here. I'm here, there, everywhere.
So,
I'm lurking.
We're going to go to your favorite subject. We're going to jump on the broom and take a ride to Hillary Clinton's town. So Hillary Clinton, in a recent conversation, let me back that up, failed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton has compared the alleged Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election to 9/11. So it would be improper of me to use a few words like can't understand normal thinking, or what's the other one? See you next Tuesday.
Retarded.
No. That you've never heard the expression see you next Tuesday?
No, I have not.
C-U-N-T.
Oh, that's right.
Can't understand normal thinking. Now
that word I love to say.
Right. It's one of the words that I think is wrong for a man to say. So if you want to call Hillary Clinton that, go right ahead.
Hillary Clinton is a cunt.
Thank you. So,
you're welcome.
That was weird. Damn. Well, my wife was grabbing, we have the humane type mouse traps that when they go in, they step on a lever, it shuts the door. So the door was shut. And my wife just went up there.
You think it's more humane to make the mouse sit there and panic because it can't get out?
But then I could release it and it's still alive.
And then it comes right back.
Oh no, I take it for a ride. We're gonna go for a little ride here. Okay? We're gonna go for a ride, we're gonna have a conversation. But the thing is, she just went up to check the trap because the door was shut and nothing was in there. Oh, it would have been dead this time because it's Florida and, well, with the heat outside, our attics, they get in 120, 130 degrees. So up there, it fries. But it was just my wife just sent me a text saying that something. I said the trap was humane. I didn't say I was humane now.
Yeah, you know.
Well, these little
being trapped
bastards.
in a little box while the sun bakes you alive.
Well, hang on. These little bastards are digging in my attic. I can hear them in the roof, in the ceiling, digging at the ceiling. So they're doing damage in my house. So they're lucky they don't get poison shoved up there. If I didn't mind dealing with a stink for a week or two, I'd poison their little asses.
Why not just put rat traps out there and end their lives? It's not like they don't breed by the dozen.
I know. I'm probably going to have to hire somebody because my fat disabled ass is not getting back up in the ceiling. I got up there once when I first bought the house, and I wasn't all banged up as bad as I am now. And it was a bugger and a half for me. So I'm not doing it again. My fat ass gets stuck up there. They'll have to cut the ceiling off to get my beached whale ass out of there. Oh.
I can see your little legs kicking out. Your little flippin' wise. I can't reach you.
Well, what's worse is, I know how bad. Florida actually changed the laws of the AC because a lot of places your condenser part was up in your attic. Save space. Well, the problem that happened is for these AC guys to work on it, they had to get up in the attics. And when I first moved down here, before I worked on the ambulance, I was working in one of the ERs. And here they brought in one of the AC guys. I worked at night, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And it was like 6, 7 o'clock at night, and they brought him in. Unconscious, unresponsive. The woman that came along, it was her house. She came to the hospital with him, all panicked. He had come in the morning and went up the attic. And the day went on. He ended up passing out in the attic. She didn't know about it. 5, 6 o'clock, she's coming along. She notices the truck still outside. Remembers that the guy was there. He passed out. And what happened is the temperature in his body shot up so high it cooked his brain, and he ended up dying.
Febrile seizure, and then, once your body temperature skyrockets,
he was brain dead when he got to us. He still had a pulse and everything, but he was brain dead. It cooked his brain. But that's why they had to change the rules, because, you get up there and it's like an hour or two in 120, 130 degree heat.
That's just like the shittiest luck in the world,
I know.
Though.
It's...
Hello? Anybody?
Exactly. So...
I'm sorry, lady, but I'm going to start breaking down this house in a freaking minute if you don't let me out.
But he ended up, they surmised that he passed out while being up there. So it wasn't like, I'm not feeling good. He just, never to be heard of again. So that's why they changed the rules, so that you don't have that situation going on anymore. All right, so we're going to get, text message from one of my listeners. Jenny, I love you, girl. So, as we were talking, failed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton is comparing her loss and the supposed Russian interference to 9/11. During a speech in London on Sunday, Clinton called the alleged interference cyber 9/11, adding, "I think there's more connections that have yet to come to light." The problem is, have you heard of any evidence? Because I haven't heard of a single shred of evidence. And with the leaks that are going on with this government, somebody would leak that crap by now.
Yes, that's true.
There is no collusion.
However, our country is one of the best ones at hiding shit.
Yes, but something like this, especially against Trump, it would have been, here, put this in the press to make him look bad. And there hasn't been anything. I mean, they're so desperate.
They're waiting for it to calm down before they put it into the press. That way, they're just giving them something else to bitch about. Something else to...
Yeah, I don't see... It's a story that got created to try... Basically what it was is, from the studies and information that I've heard, when Hillary Clinton back in 2015, they did some studies on her candidacy. And one of the negatives that really cost her during the polling was they asked people, what about if they bring up her possible connection to Russia with the uranium deal, which we'll be discussing at the top of the hour, people. Hint, hint. And right then, it was like 75% of the people polled turned around and said, no, we would not vote for her at that time. So what's the best way to get ahead of something is you accuse, and it's one of the rules for radicals, you accuse your opponent of it before they accuse you. So if they try to go back at you, it sounds like they're just sour grapes. So they started the whole Trump-Russia thing to get ahead of anybody pointing towards Hillary in the uranium deal. Hint, hint, after the top of the hour.
The golden rule. If somebody starts pointing a finger at you aggressively and blaming you for something that you know you didn't do, they are trying to cover up their own guilt.
Yep.
That's the golden rule. I live by that rule.
And that's, if you watch...
sitting there pointing, saying it's me, well, why are you trying to push this on me when it just clearly wasn't that way?
And a perfect example.
Why are you so aggressive with it? You're aggressive with it because you're trying to distract away from your own guilt.
What happens when a spouse starts screaming? And it's not a 100% rule.
You're cheating. You're cheating. You're doing this. You're lying. Well,
because they're doing it.
Where does this come from?
Because they're usually doing it.
Because they're doing it. They are guilty, and they feel guilty, and they want to take that guilt. They want to make it go away, and the only way they can do that is by pushing it on to you, so that they're hoping you don't notice how guilty they look.
Exactly, and that's exactly what they tried to do with this whole Russian thing. I know that's a little bit of wild example of what they were doing, but that's exactly what they did. Is thank you. And I mean, when I'm doing the show like this and I come up with these things, it makes sense in my head. And my good buddy that everybody that listens to this, well, not everybody, but people that listen to the show, Crash, that calls him very often, and we did a show together for a while, the Southside Mutts. And he was also my EMS partner that I took underneath my wings when he first started. But he called them Joe-isms because he knows I would say something, and it didn't always come out the way that I think it would. So it's nice to have you sit there and say, no, it doesn't make sense, because sometimes I'll say this stuff and we'll go, I wonder if somebody understands the connection I'm trying to make with that. So thank you on that. Made me feel good that did.
I'm right along with you. My gaming tag is Ivy, and I have the same thing, the Ivy-isms. I have memes that I can make off of them now. Yeah. I mean, it's half the shit we think of, we think it doesn't make sense to anybody else, but eventually it'll make sense.
But also, on the other point, a little bit, is like when I talk to my dad, because he always feels what he thinks going on politically in this country, that he's the only one that feels this. And I've been trying to get it through to him. No, Dad, you're actually in the majority right now. The way he's thinking is actually the majority. It's just they've been telling him for so many years, oh, no, you're thinking by yourself, because they wanted to squash you from speaking up. And sometimes he... No, it's...
Sorry.
No problem. But that's how...
Yeah.
That's how they quiet this tension.
Sorry. I don't have an office. I don't have a radio field. I have my bedroom.
You know what? I'm used to it with Crash, because his kids will come out, because he's got a liberal wife. I love her to death, but she doesn't exactly like him doing the show. And they'll find every reason to come out and interfere with him while he's doing the show. So I've gotten used to it with the slider, to slide it up and down when family members come along to talk.
Right.
I love my wife. I love my wife. She enjoys me doing this show because she hates political talk. She hates it with a passion. So this is my outlet. And also, with being disabled like I was starting to go stir crazy, which was driving her up a wall. So this gives me an out. So she's like, go in the room, shut the door, we'll leave you alone.
I'm still new at this, and he's getting used to it. My husband's getting used to it.
It takes a little bit.
He really, really hates it when he tries to get in the room and the door's locked, because he's always in a rush to do things.
Well, when I first started doing it, she
runs into the wall. It's like, oh.
Well, my wife thought I was crazy when I first started doing it. She didn't think there would be anybody interested, so she was shocked to see I got a show. But it's that time for a break, and once we get done with the break, we're going to jump into this revelation that has come about. And everybody, you want to tune in, because starting from here on out for the rest of the night, there is great information back-to-back, because at the top of the hour will be 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You will have BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon with special guest owner Sackhead Sean, and they'll be discussing all the events from the Las Vegas shooting and some of the issues that have popped up. So we're going to go to break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media with special guest Snarky of Oz, Rachel, also on Lone Star Radio, and we will be hitting the play button right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of a stupid program.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Don't forget, coming up top of the hour in approximately, 54 minutes? 53? 53 minutes, it will be BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, hosted by BZ, with special guests, the co-owner, Sackhead Sean. They'll be discussing everything that is the Las Vegas shooting. There's a lot of questions that are going on. Are you there, Rachel?
I'm here.
All right. So, I've been teasing it on and off for the first half of the show, and we're going to get to it. There was a bomb that got dropped, and you would think I would have the article up and ready. Of course I don't. That's it. I get detention. I got to stay after the show.
Here. Yeah, that's it.
FBI has uncovered...
Bad Joe, go to my room.
Alright, the FBI has uncovered a Russian bribery plot before the Obama administration approved controversial nuclear deal with Moscow. There is FBI proof that there was bribery, extortion, and payoffs. So that
I haven't seen any proof. What proof?
Well, FBI hasn't. They were so far in the investigation they were ready to start prosecution on people.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it just... I think...
Let's take their word for it. Mm-hmm.
Well, before the Obama administration approved a controversial deal in 2010 giving Moscow control of a large amount of American uranium, the FBI had gathered substantial evidence that Russian nuclear industry officials were engaging in bribery, kickbacks, and extortion and money laundering designed to grow Vladimir Putin's atomic energy business inside the U.S. Now, what is known... Hillary's foundation got $145 million from Russia after she signed off on the deal to send all this money or all this uranium ownership to Russia. Now, this is weapons-grade uranium.
Okay, wait, Joe. Did nobody actually question why we were doing this? Why they wanted that much? Why we gave them that much uranium? Uranium is usually used for what?
Well, you can use it for nuclear power plants, certain grades of uranium, if I'm correct, and certain grades are used for nuclear weapons. And this grade was for nuclear weapons. And for some reason, the Obama administration thought it'd be good to sell 1/5 of our production off to Russia. And, of course, Hillary has said she has no hands in it. She had nothing to do with it, even though she sat on 3 committees that voted to approve. And, amazingly, she got $145 million. But what's coming out
Even if she had nothing to do with it, she allowed it to happen.
Exactly. She allowed this to happen. There was 9 committees. 9 committees, or 9 agencies that had their hand in it. How many agencies, the head of the agencies, got money from Russia? Take a guess.
1?
Yep. Just 1, the Clintons.
Score for me.
Now, they say that they had nothing to do with anything, and why are you the one that got $145 million? Why is it there's bribery, blackmail, and the FBI had all this proof? And the funny part is, the 2 people that were involved, up to 3 people involved. Well, there's more, but Rod Rosenstein, who's the deputy, deputy attorney general, and Robert Mueller was the head of the FBI. They helped Obama cover up Hillary's Russian bribery scheme, but those 2 are now the ones investigating this Russian influence in the U.S. election. It's something. This is big.
I'm fucking speechless. Snarky is speechless, and that is a rare thing. I can't comprehend their thoughts. I can't comprehend their thoughts. I can't make a comment on it.
That's fine. Because you know what? I've been all day since I heard this drop. I saw the headline earlier today, and I bookmarked it for the show. This is what I do, because you're kind of new to the show. I go through, and I spend probably, not all day, but on and off all day, I'm checking sites, and I'm looking at articles. And when I see a headline that catches my interest, something that I'm interested in, I bookmark it. And I'll bookmark a bunch of different articles. And then about approximately 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I sit down on the computer, and I start going through all those articles I bookmarked, and I open up the ones that I'm really interested in that I'm going to put in the show. And then that's how I do it. Now, this one, I saw it, and I kind of, this will be interesting, and put it to the side. Now, on the way home from picking my daughter up from school, and that's when I actually had sent you the text about coming on tonight. I was just at my daughter's school, and I saw you talking about doing a live show. I said, you know what, I'll put I always think about it, then forget and never make the offer to people, so that's why I give you the offer. So
that was awesome. Thank you, by the way, for that.
No problem. Anytime you have an open invitation, I don't think people take me serious when I say it. I say what I mean and mean what I say. You have an open invitation. If you want to come on the show, I gave you my number.
It's not going to mistake you. Inviting me on and giving me an open path.
You know the time. Just send me a message. Let me know you're going to be calling in. Boom. I'll put you on.
All right.
But then all of a sudden, Sean Hannity's show came on, and he started talking about this, and he started going in depth what's going on, the players involved, and I was like, wait a minute, this is fucking huge. This is big. We have our government, the Obama administration, stopped an FBI investigation that they were to the point ready to go and start prosecuting. We have undercover work. The federal agents used a confidential U.S. witness working inside the Russian nuclear industry to gather extensive financial records, make secret recordings, and intercept emails as early as 2009 that showed Moscow had compromised an American uranium trucking firm with bribes and kickbacks in violation of the Foreign Corrupt Practice Act, FBI and court documents show. So this is a little bit further along than I even thought. I mean, they have court documents. So there was probably grand juries that were already called on this. And this is not something that...
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
It's not something that can be squashed and quiet very easy. This took top officials, Eric Holder, Obama, Hillary Clinton. This took top players to stop this from happening. And if this is true, we're looking at a racketeering scheme. We're looking at, some major companies and players going down. Clinton's...
That's not going to happen, you realize that.
I know I'm pipe dreaming here. But this might be one of them. If it catches legs, because what really surprised me, I heard it from Hannity, and the site that broke the news was thehill.com, who is a liberal-leaning site. They broke this story. So it wasn't some right-wing conspiracy group. Because a lot of this is known. There was the Clinton Cash book that was written and put out last year that exposed some of this information. And it went pretty in-depth to the financial records of the Hillary.
Well, it surprised me it wasn't broken earlier. Why wasn't this brought up earlier? This is not new news. This is something that had to have continued out throughout the year. So why is it just now breaking?
I don't know. Someone that got the information decided that it might make their career to put this out there. This is something that journalists are supposed to do. Break these stories.
If we look far enough back, I guarantee you we will find that this has been out there before and it just wasn't big enough at the time.
Well, some of this information was out there, but I think the racketeering, the bribery, the kickbacks, I don't think all that information was out there as prevalent as it is now, where it's connecting the dots between all these people. And that's what really blew my mind. It still has me stunned.
I'm not stunned. I'm not shocked. I expect it now. I really do. There's hardly anything out there that in the news that will shock me.
See, I never say that because I learned in my career. Every time I said I've seen it all, something new that comes along. So
I didn't say I've seen it all, but I'm not shocked by it.
Something will come along now that will shock you because it will be so goddamn bad. It's this one actually, I had to say, shocked me. This one did, and I thought, like you, nothing would. This is actually shocking. I mean, instead of bringing charges in 2010, the Department of Justice continued investigating the matter for nearly 4 more years, essentially leaving the American public and Congress in the dark about Russian nuclear corruption on U.S. soil.
Oh, bullshit. They were not in the dark. Bullshit.
But they say here they come up with this bullshit Russian collusion with Trump, which never happened. And why? So that they could try to cover this up. They thought Hillary was going to be president. They thought it was a slam dunk for her to get in. So they didn't have to worry about really covering this up and destroying evidence. They thought Hillary would be in there. There's a lot of stuff laying around because they thought Hillary was going to win. That's why they didn't.
They really did. That's amusing too. That amuses me.
No, they did. They thought it was a slam dunk. I know a lot of Republicans that were like, "Oh, she's got it. We're done with. Oh, Trump's the nominee. Oh, we're done with. It's over. It's in the bag." And you can go through my shows. You can ask everybody that listens to me. From day one, I was like, "Nope. I think Trump is the only one that could beat Hillary."
Same here.
Because he was willing to attack her the way Democrats attack Republicans.
With dignity?
Yeah, that's not how I would
it was a snarky ass comment.
I know.
Yeah, right.
Hey, it's that time again. This freaking show's blowing by today.
Isn't there dishes in your sink, Snarky?
Oh, I'll just worry if you're barefooted. I know, that was a sexist comment. That was bad.
Could have been worse. You could have said, "Don't make him tell you twice."
I could have said, "Go make me a sandwich."
Hey, babe, how old's our dishwasher? 33. Mother.
No, like I said, it's my answer for everything. Why don't you go do the dishes? Why did I get married? You think I wanted to put up with a woman this long? Hell, go do my laundry. Shit, that's when I wake up off the floor.
Go make me a sandwich. Sure. Would you like some Visine with that?
I felt bad. We were at a bar one night. And you always have that annoying guy You always do? Oh, by the way, Jenna just said that I need to keep you around. She likes the back and forth between us.
Oh, thank you, Jenna.
And
I'm behaving right now, believe it or not.
so am I. And everybody always has that annoying guy that comes into the bar, you know, come on, buy me a beer, and, you know, try to buddy up. Oh, yeah, I've done that.
Oh, the broke-ass motherfucker, the scrub that comes in, acting like he owns the place.
Yep.
He's always his name.
Well, after a couple of nights in a row, because when we came into the bar, I mean, it was EMS, fire, police, we took over bars. When we went out drinking, we literally took bars over because there's like 30, 40 of us going in.
No, wait, I thought you guys had like your own little bars that you go to, like just specific.
Yeah, but every now and then we would want a different. We had like 3 bars we would bounce around from, and but sometimes a couple of us would break off. But it's Jenna said that you're Reaver at potential. You always have that one guy. So we took Visine, and I forget who did it, not knowing exactly what Visine would do. Put a whole fucking bottle of it in his drink. We did not see.
Let's make this clear to your audience real quick. It does not kill them.
No.
It makes them.
Oh, as he put it, he did not get off the toilet for like 2 days. He literally slept on the toilet. Oh, when he found out, he tried playing. Oh, good one, good one. We're like, it wasn't a joke, asshole. Oh yeah, I know. You guys are just hazing me. No, just stay away.
No, we're trying to unfriend you is what we're trying to do.
And that's in high school. We had the one guy, always did the same thing, and we kind of got tired of him one night. So we were like, all right, we're going on a beer run. Come on along. And we drove like 2 counties over. We're like, listen, we got to drop you off here. We're gonna go get the beer from a buddy of ours. Just stay here. We'll be right back. 2 hours later, he's calling. Guys, did you forget about me? No, bye. Click. Another hour came by. He shows up the door. I made it. Funny one, guys. That wasn't a joke.
God, Jim. He's here. Lock the doors. Turn the lights off.
Oh.
Don't like that shit. We want him to know we're here.
Oh, yeah, we never hid. It was just... Why? I told my computer to restart later, and... Oh, that's why.
Later.
No, I told it that I actually got an error on it. I see now why my error came up. There we go. Now, don't you come up again.
Stop downloading the porn.
No, I do that on the tablet. I don't download. Too many bugs out there. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with host Jersey Joe and co-host, special co-host, Snarky. And don't do that again. Don't do that again, please. Ooh. It's like, what? This is not a porn channel now.
Oh, so good.
And we'll be right back after these brief messages. You're listening on SHR Media and the Lone Star Radio. We'll be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying capitalist doing a program.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense with a special co-host tonight. Snarky of Oz, Rachel's here. How are you doing?
I am magnificent as fuck.
And BZ, how are you doing, my brother? It is great to see you. Don't forget, coming up in top of the hour in right around 29 minutes will be BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Pull up a chair. The speech is free, but the drinks are not. I know he has special guests.
Annoying.
Huh?
Sorry, I was hearing a clicking noise. I don't know where I was coming
I thought you said you're annoying. I was like, damn, already? Whew, that was quick.
No, no.
He's going to have special guests, Sackhead Sean, co-owner of Sackhead Radio Station. And they'll be discussing everything that is weird about this Las Vegas shooting. Now, what is it? The one eyewitness, the security guard, is now missing.
Hey, Joe, are you not hearing that? Is it just me?
Hearing what? This?
It's like really loud. Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Oh, I'm playing with a pen. Sorry. I didn't realize I was
Knock
doing
it off.
Sorry. Yes, ma'am. All right.
Oh, man, I'm going to have your wife. Sorry.
I don't need no more reviews from my wife. Please, no. So, no mas. Uranium 1. What is it? The first is, and what we're talking about is a bombshell has dropped about the whole Uranium 1.
Yes,
sorry, I just got a message also in chat that kind of.
Oh, I thought it was me.
No, it's like a silver keys. The silver of the keys, you jingle it.
Shiny thing.
Shiny. Shiny shoes. What fucking show was that from? Shiny shoes. I don't remember now. Oh well. And the funny thing is, Trump brought up some of this and brought up about the sale of the uranium during the campaign trail last year, and a Hillary Clinton spokesperson said she was not involved in the committee review, and note that the State Department official who handled it said she never intervened on any committee on foreign investment in the United States matter. The problem is, again, it's been proven that she sat on like 3 different committees that voted to approve it. One of the committees, it was her, Eric Holder, Rosenstein, and Mueller were all on the committee, and it was voted unanimously to sell 1/5 of our uranium to Russia. In 2011, the administration gave approval for Rosenthal's 10X subsidiary to sell commercial uranium to U.S. nuclear power plants in partnership with the United States enrichment. Oh, a bunch of yippee. This needs to blow up.
What's the fucking point of that? I don't get it, Joe. What is the point of that?
I don't know.
Who in their fucking right mind would think it's a good idea?
I know. Let's sell uranium to the Soviet Union. What's funny is, I remember in 2012.
Like you stated before, it's not the power plant uranium because they're different. This was actually for weapons.
But if you remember back then, you know, Hillary Clinton was running around with the reset button. I don't know if you remember. She actually gave the ambassador of Russia that little red reset button from I forget what
Office Max.
Office Max. Yeah, she handed him a reset button, and it was actually misspelled because they put it in Russia and it said something totally different. She was going to Putin's house for private parties.
I'm sorry, Putin.
I said Putin. But I'm for you though. During the 2012 debate with Romney, you know, it was asked who Romney thought was the #1 enemy of the United States, and he said Russia. And here's Obama, you know, snickering away, going, 1980s want their policy back. You know, Russia is not our problem. You know, and here we come. They get out of office, and Russia's our #1 enemy. But they're sitting there selling all this uranium, but then they accuse of Russia. Huh?
I said, who would have known? Who could have guessed that Russia was our #1?
Exactly. I mean, it's.
Oh, God. Life is like a box of chocolate.
No, box isn't. And no, life isn't like a box of chocolate. Because if you flip the fucking box over, it tells you what's in where.
You never know what's going to get inside. Guess what?
Flip the box over.
There's chocolate in there.
But I love it. The comic ditty is like if you flip the box over, there's a diagram that tells you exactly what's in there. Dumbass. Just go run. Run, Forrest, run.
Okay.
Oh, let's get on to a different topic. I'm so sick of Hillary Clinton and just... How did my dad do it? She could fall and shit come out smelling like roses. And our government keeps allowing her getting away with it.
Why, though? She's nobody special. How is it that she is getting away with it?
I guess you kill enough people. You know, you can get away with it. All right, what I want to get to also, because I want to throw this in, the FBI... Huh?
You're tapping again.
Oh, shit. Damn it. Damn it. See, I don't notice it in my headset because I can hear it, firsthand. I find it funny that you're trying to figure out what's going on. The FBI's annual law enforcement...
You could have kept going with it, too, and I was like...
I didn't know what you were...
He'd have kept doing it, like, I don't know what you're talking about.
That would have been funny. The FBI's annual law...
4 days to figure out he was the one shutting the TV off in the front room. From my bedroom.
I did that when my wife downloaded the app on my phone. Was sitting there changing the channel.
Came in the room like almost in tears. Like, my house is on and the TV won't stay on. They kept a straight face for 4 days.
Well, it was all... I was dating my wife at the time, and she came with me. My mom just got a brand new Explorer. So we're driving home in it. We're listening to the radio. All of a sudden, the station starts changing. My mom's like, why'd you change the station? I'm like, I didn't change it, Mom. So we hit the button, change it back. All of a sudden, it changes again. We're like, what the fuck? And we're to the point, and we're like, we got to take it back. All of a sudden, we hear the snickering out of the back seat. And we're like, what's so funny? She goes, oh, there's a controller back here for the stereo system. I was like, oh, you little snake. My mom just started laughing. It was just, oh, God, too funny.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Oh, I wanted to kill my mom.
The wall air conditioning that we had in our old house. He got his mom in on that. They had the little remote control for a wall unit in his pocket. She knew. I didn't know. Kept clicking it on and off while I was in front of it. Once again, got a little snarky. I don't know what's going on. Mom's over there laughing. I'm like, wow, you were in on this too? Yeah, it's your son.
Oh. All right, I want to get this one in because actually, shit. Time is just flying by tonight because we're almost up on another break. It's your fault. When in doubt, I'm going to blame Snarky.
I'll own it.
It's your fault. The FBI's annual law enforcement officers killed and assaulted report for 2016 was finalized Monday and shows a substantial increase in all relevant categories. Mostly the number of officers feloniously killed in the line of duty jumped to 66, a 61% increase over 2015. 61% increase on officers killed. That is ridiculous and unacceptable. But yet, we have a bunch of overpaid babies crying that they're oppressed and have all this cops beating them and all that, when the numbers don't show it actually happening, but the numbers show that there's a spike in law enforcement murders. And then the NFL, these millionaires...
And you wonder why they pull guns instantly.
Well, actually,
on calls.
There was an officer...
No, not on all calls. They do it on...
There was an officer just killed in New Orleans a couple of nights ago that the officer was shot because they were busy pulling their taser out instead of their gun out. They're pulling the taser out, and the suspect saw that it was the taser, pulled a gun, shot, and killed the cop. And that
could have been avoided, people.
Yeah, and very easily. And listen, I've bitched about the police on this radio station, or this radio show. I've bitched about the police when I think they're wrong. but we've also demonized as a nation lately. I don't want to say as a nation because it's a small percentage.
Don't say we. Do not say we. I'm going to tell you that right now because I am not part of this.
I mean, I don't blame the cops for
they.
Say, all right, we'll go with they. You're correct. I'll give you that. You're correct. But there's a small percentage.
Damn right, I'm correct. I'm a woman. I'm always correct.
Until a man comes along. Right. But they make it sound like the police are out there just, oh, what do you want to do? You want to get lunch? Oh, no, let's just go kill some black guys. Hey, let's go pull these guys over. You know, that's not what they're doing.
There's no tickets to give out. No, that's not what they're doing. No, it's not.
You know, is there some assholes out there? Yes. Every part of life you're going to run into that.
That's part of being human, though, that nobody is perfect. Right. And yeah, there are people out there that tend to take things out of hand. But that's not all of them.
No, and me and my one buddy will get, well, we kind of separate because he's not going to convince me and I'm not going to convince him. He's on the kick of, he's on this kick of the cops, you know, that one bad apple type bullshit. And it's like, no, there is a few bad apples. You don't throw out the whole police force just because a couple, and you don't know who they are. I mean, it's the same thing with the Democrats. They want to jump out. Jenna says she absolutely loves you.
Oh, thank you so much, Jenna. I love you too. You're beautiful people.
Just totally lost my train of thought. It's that time.
You're making me blush.
It's time for a break, actually, and I lost my chain of thought. When we come back, I do want to bring up a couple of anti-gun conversations and some stats that might shock you about which is more dangerous, a knife or a gun. So you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with special guest.
Yeah, it's the person holding it.
Bingo.
It depends on who's holding it.
You're wearing Depends? What? We'll be right back after these brief messages.
You have a maxi pad, one?
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello. I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
you got a business. That you didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying calf for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense with a special co-host tonight, Snarky. Snarf.
Snarf.
Now I'm going to have that stuck in my head. Thunder. Yep. That's going to be stuck in my head the rest of the night.
Thundercunts. Ho!
Where's a hoe?
What?
Huh? You know what?
That's not one right now.
Damn it, you figured me out already. Damn it. I was going through, me and my wife, going through the channels and found a lot of these old cartoons, the ones we loved as kids. And we were playing a bunch of them for my daughter. My daughter's like, I like the newer Transformers. I'm like, you ain't got no taste. And it just by chance, He-Man, so we watched that. Next thing I know, she was watching He-Man nonstop. She loved it. She loved Orko.
Oh, you should definitely let her watch the movie Masters of the Universe.
Oh, I did. They're doing a remake on it. The remake's coming out soon.
Are they really?
Yep. I tried getting her watching She-Ra. She's like, no, I like He-Man better. Okay.
She-Ra sucks.
Yeah. It was a rip.
Although I'm going to say, you know what? You know what trumps them all?
What?
Voltron.
Defenders of the Universe. They got a new version out, too, now. They just redid it.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Well, they've tried to do it a couple times, but yeah, Voltron. Defenders of the Universe.
They took the girl out.
What? They took the pink chick out?
Yeah.
Alright, so I was watching, what was it? Flashpoint today. It's a Canadian Special Forces TV show that was on a couple of years ago. Well, I was watching, I was like, hey, Jordan. She's like, yeah. I'm like, see the chick on there? She's like, yeah. I was like, that was the original pink Power Ranger. She's like, oh, cool. The girl that was in the show was the original. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was the original pink Power Ranger. God, I need to get life.
I was actually reading an article about one of the Power Rangers. He got in major trouble. He went to jail for a while.
Oh, one of them? Yeah, he like stabbed his roommate or something.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Or I ignored it.
Probably heard it and didn't really just click in the head.
I had the hugest crush on Dixon Nolan with long hair. He was the Silver Ranger, I think he was.
He was
the white one.
See, I never really got into the Power Rangers. Never really did. But it was just...
I was into them, but I wasn't, a die-hard fan of them. I think it was more into Pokemon at that time.
Ooh. See, Pokemon was way after my time. That was way after my time. I didn't have to do the Pokemon thing. Well, I did a few Pokemon.
You had marbles, I had Pogs. Who remembers Pogs?
Marbles were way before my time. How old do you think I am? I'm not BZ here. Damn. See if he's paying attention. Back in my day, I walked to school uphill both ways.
Toilets didn't flush, and there were 3 channels on the TV, and you had to get up to change the channel.
Well, my brothers didn't have to get up. I was the remote. Go change the channel. Okay. So where was the other article I wanted to...
He'd like throw stuff at the TV and tell me to hit one of the 3 buttons.
Let's see how good we are. Get a nice spin on it. I want to try to get one last article in. FBI. FBI Uniform Crime Report, the UCR, for 2016 shows more than 4 times as many people were stabbed to death than were killed with rifles of any kind. And because the rifle covers every type of rifle, this means there's even greater divide between the number of people stabbed to death versus those shot to death with an AR-15 or similar rifle. Oh, wait a minute. 60? You think I'm 60, BZ? Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oy vey.
Oh, God.
I'm 45! Holy shit! Damn, that just made me feel really old. Oh.
Yeah, you were what, like 16 when I was born? No, you were like 14 or
something like that.
My husband's the same age. Cradle robber.
Rocking the cradle. But yeah, I love when these idiots go around about the AR-15 and how dangerous it is. But it's such a small percentage of people that are actually killed by the AR-15. And part of that number of the AR-15 death, of the rifle, is also included underneath justified homicide, which are killed with police rifles. So that's what a lot of these people don't understand, and that's why they have to jack the number up when they talk about it. They have to add suicide to get those famous high numbers.
They leave that part out. They leave those details out.
And Hillary does it all the time. I got in a discussion, and the person's like, what, you don't care about people that kill themselves? I'm like, yeah, I do. But you do think that if by banning guns it's going to stop them from killing themselves? Yes. No, if they're that determined to kill themselves, they will find another way. They'll poison themselves, they'll hang themselves, walk in front of a car, jump off a building. I said, how many other...
just keep trying until it happens. It doesn't matter how it's going to happen. If they want to die, they're going to die.
When they get to that point that they're determined to do it, nothing we can do is going to stop them by banning stuff. I mean, we can try to get them help, some kind of mental help, but it's banning guns isn't going to stop them. So, yes, I don't want to include their numbers in gun violence because it has nothing to do with gun violence in the conversation we're having. Dave, the unpleasant blind guy, how are you doing, sir? I told you.
Hi.
It's just, I love how they have to twist stats. That shows me that they don't have anything to stand on. If they got to twist the facts and the numbers to try to fit their argument.
It. They are intentionally leaving details out to make it look worse than it is.
Exaggerating.
But it's not twisting it.
They're twisting the numbers because yes, there's 33,000 people are killed with a gun a year. Okay, but what they leave out is it's only 11,000, so that's 23,000 are suicide. Sorry, I had to do the math.
How many of those were accidents that happened? You know, how many people were killed just by accident? You know, I didn't know it was loaded.
Well, that comes out of there from the 12,000.
What happens if it's just one person and they count that as a suicide? But, you know, I'm just cleaning my gun, you know, nobody's around, and I accidentally shot myself. Sorry, God. Does that count as a suicide? I'm just curious.
I'm not sure. Why are you hallucinating, BZ? Are you having a flashback to the 60s? I've used that excuse, though. I was cleaning it and it went off. Honestly.
That's what he said.
Exactly. How did I go from talking serious to that comment? I don't know. But it's funny how I don't hear, but Britain was actually looking at banning knives at one point because they had a high rate of stabbings that were going on. You know, it's going to happen. People are going to find ways to, if they have malice in their heart, they will find a way to commit that malice, that hatred, they will give into it. Doesn't matter what you or I ban. And now you're having England and Australia who have gun bans. Their gun crime rate is shooting up because people are finding ways to get the guns illegally. And with that, that's the show we have. That's all we have. We ran out of time.
No! What do we do till the next show? We can just hang out for a while. There's another show coming up that's real great, guys. Hang out.
Yes, yeah, we got the BZ Berserk Bobcat Saloon with a co-host, co-owner, Sackhead Sean, and it's going to be coming right up in a couple minutes. I want to thank everybody, and I want to thank Snarky of Oz for being here. Hopefully you will grace us with your presence again.
I don't know, you gotta cater to my ego first. Come on.
Oh, you did a good job. You did good.
Let's do better than that. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Joe. I really enjoyed myself.
You have an open invitation.
Tune in. Stay tuned. There's another show coming on. It's really great. Bobcat's awesome.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Joe, so much for having me.
No problem. You have a great night. Coming up next, and I'll see everybody tomorrow, 9 p.m. Have a great night. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.